Hey guys, it's Eric with LeatherSeats.com. In today's tech tip video, we're going to take this and turn it into this. We've been receiving a lot of inquiries about upgrading the upholstery on the 6th Gen Camaro. In today's tech tip video, we're going to take you through the entire process of upgrading the boring factory cloth to a beautiful LeatherSeats.com upholstery kit. But first, we got to get the seats out of the car. Once we get the seat moved all the way forward, we're going to remove the bolts at the rear. Those are T50 Torx. There actually aren't any bolts holding the front in. It's basically anchored in. So once the rear bolts are removed, we can slide the seat back and get access to the wiring harness. All right, with the wiring harness disconnected, we can go ahead and get the seat out of the car, but first I'm going to cover the kick plate and the door panel with some moving blankets just so we don't scratch anything on the way out. All right, I've positioned the seat here on this table next to the car just because I can't really move it any further without unbolting the seat belt. But first, we got to get the plastic shroud off the side of the seat. All right, we got the driver's seat completely disconnected. We're gonna do the same thing to get the passenger side seat out. Then I'm gonna be back to show you how to remove the rear seats. All right, we got the passenger side bucket seat out. Now we gotta remove the rear seats. These are some of the easiest I've ever seen, to be honest. Basically, they're both held in by tension. We're gonna use a panel popping tool to pop the rear cushion here. All right, now we just have to get the backrest out. It is a full flat unit. Basically, the only thing holding it in is the pivot point, which is just spring loaded. So basically, we just have to pull really hard. Now that we have the seats out of the car, the next thing we have to do is remove the factory cloth upholstery. In most cases, you can actually take it off without doing any cutting. That's not the case with these 6th Gen Camaro headrests. The headrest is adjustable but not removable, so we're gonna have to actually cut the factory cloth upholstery in order to get the headrest off. The easiest way to get access to this headrest mechanism is to actually remove the factory headrest upholstery. I'm gonna do that by basically cutting here on this blind seam. Now, since the cut I made on this headrest cover was done on a blind seam, I could actually sew this back together and it'd be good as new. In this case, the customer doesn't want to reuse his covers for anything, so it's going to be trash. The next thing I have to do is actually remove the foam from the headrest core. Now, you do have to be careful with this. You want to try to get the foam around the button without tearing it up too much. It's inevitable that it probably will end up with a few tears, but it shouldn't matter too much because it's still going to hold its form. Now, this next part is a little bit tedious. You might want to get an extra set of hands. Basically, you got to use some pry tools to get this top plastic cap off of the headrest. All right, next we got to remove the C-clips here on this top cap. On this headrest, it is adjustable using this button that basically moves this mechanism up and down. This top cap is actually what keeps it from coming off, so you have to take this off. With the top cap removed, we can now take the headrest adjustment mechanism completely off, and the headrest posts actually come out simply by twisting one direction or the other. Now we got to get the backrest cover off. The first thing we're going to do is remove this plastic bezel around the tilt mechanism. This bezel is held in by tension, so you basically just have to pry it off. All right, now that we've got the factory cloth removed, I can go ahead and start installing the leather kit. The first thing we need to do is trim the salvage on this thigh support boxing seam. We're gonna cut this to about 3/16 of an inch. Cutting the salvage here will help the seam lay flatter during installation. The next thing we're gonna do to prep the bottom cushion cover here is basically add some heat. We're gonna use steam to do that. When you steam the back of the leather here, you basically bring up the temperature and make it a little bit easier to work with. Heating the seat cover with steam before the installation isn't absolutely required, but it definitely makes the material easier to work with and will improve fitment. The next thing we're going to do is start hog ringing the seat cover on. You definitely want to make sure that the seat cover is centered as you begin hog ringing these horizontal listings. All right, I'm going to switch over to our pneumatic hog ring gun for the rest of the install. This obviously isn't necessary, but it is going to make things go a little bit faster. All right, guys, we've got the bottom cushion mostly installed. We're really not going to be able to take it any further or improve fitment until we can get it back on the seat frame. So I'm going to move on to installing the backrest cover. All right, guys, we got the passenger seat completely finished. That means both front buckets are ready to go back in the vehicle. I'm gonna go ahead and get that done, but I'll be back to show you the installation on the rear seats. All right, guys, we're ready to tackle the rear seats, and just like the fronts, the first thing we gotta do is remove the factory upholstery. All right, guys, we got the rear seats knocked out. I'm gonna get everything back in the vehicle and we'll be back to show you the finished interior. Hey guys, thanks for watching this Tech Tips installation episode. If you're interested in seeing more content on the products we created for the 6th Gen Camaro, you can check that out in the links in the description below. Otherwise, if you have any questions, you can always email us at sales@leatherseats.com or call us toll free at 866-NEW-SEAT. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.